Good morning, traders. Welcome to the daily webinar. Let's start. So we're in this one right now because we just took this trade in our trading room. Sell here. We'll put it to break even when it comes to this level and then watch to see if it breaks out or if they go back up. The chances are it will break out because this pattern looks complete. We will go into that later. And we have another trade running right now that we just took. That is in New Zealand to the upside. We just took this New Zealand from here. And we're trying to see if we can get it to come to that level. From there, when it comes midway, we'll put it to break even and we'll see where you can actually even put it to break even now. Two things are going to happen. It's either going to go up as an impulse or as a consolidation. We'll see that. Let's go. Let's start. Dollar index. Dollar index is consolidating. I think we're making a bigger correction. We've got an impulse up. Yesterday, I told you if you're going to sell this, be careful. It might not go very far. If you sell it, it's probably just going to do this and start to go back up for the bigger correction, which is exactly what happened, right? Because when you get a number of small corrections, you go for a big one. So you have an impulse and you're getting a correction. This should be a correction downwards and then an impulse upwards, and then we should go. So what we would look for is a buy setup once this is finished. Now, if you're trading in a shorter time frame, there was a sell setup here. That's a very short time frame. You have to be very careful. Which means that, you're kind of consolidating here. I see this more as consolidation. You've got an impulse consolidation. We go back up here. We would look for the buy setup here, and then you look for downside. So if you're trading short term, you can get these consolidations. You can trade. The zone is pretty big. I think it's over. Yeah, it's only about 39 pips, not that much. So probably wait for the correction and then look for the trade. Gold. I think gold will still get to the top. So yesterday we're looking at it and turned out we got a running flat as expected. We expected that running flat. They made a move up. It's pulled back. We're looking for a buy setup here. We don't have this setup as yet. We were checking it in the trading. We don't have a buy setup as yet, but we're looking for it. As soon as the buy setup is ready, we will be going for this trade here. All right, when we get the setup, which based on the strategy you need to get before you can take the trade. Not because we expect it to go there, we just jump in, right? So when we get this setup, we'll go for that trade. When it gets to that level, what we'll be looking for is one more down. So if we get this trade good for us, that's a trade to the top there. Maybe break the top, take the profit off. We're looking for a big trade to the downside. So if this happens in the next couple hours, we'll be selling this afternoon. Hopefully we break the top before New York Open, because when New York Open, you normally get bigger moves in it. And that means we'll be getting the downside. All right, let's see. Silver, pretty much the same thing. We've got a running flat in it. We're going up. I don't know how far this is going to go because it's the first piece of any specific pattern. It's not a specific, this is just the first piece of that pattern, whatever is going to form. Is it the reversal? A little too early. I think it's a little too early for the reversal to the upside. So I believe once we get this up move, we will come back one more down here and then go. Now we're still looking for the buy. So if we're right about the ups, if we're wrong about the upside, good for us. It will continue to go up. Again, we don't have a buy setup, right? We're looking for that buy. An entry order here is not the ideal one, but we'll keep an entry order there in case this takes off. That's not the ideal setup. If we get a flag anywhere here, that would be a better trade up. So if we get the flag, we take the trade. If we don't get a flag, we put it at the top and then we go for it. We're expecting one more up. I hope it's as big as this one, and then we'll see what to do with it from that point. If it continues to go up, great. If not, you might get one or two more flags before you get there in any case. Euro, we're looking for a sell. We're correcting this whole move. So you got an impulse and you're getting a correction here, and this could stay on here for a while, but then you look for a sell. It could be just a 1, 2, 3 and go back up, but I think it's going to go deeper. I believe this correction to be, we might get to 50, 60% of this move up. I think it's a corrective structure we're making, so we'll see how big this correction goes. Do we have a buy setup in it? No, absolutely not. We saw this, but you wouldn't buy this, right? You wouldn't buy that because it's just going to do this and it can drop. And if this drop, you want that trade. Right, so we're expecting this to drop, give us a 1, 2, 3, maybe then come back for a bigger correction and then go back down. So we're making a big correction. This part should be the B part of that move, right? Because I don't think this is all the move correction up. I think this is just the first part of that correction. going up. And this would be a second part, and then we'll get a third part, and then we'll go. If you go in the bigger picture, you will see what I'm talking about. So this is it. See? We've got this move up. We want this move down. And then we want that move up. So this down is a corrective structure, which means you'll drop. The first one here will be a drop for the impulse. Come back up here for the correction. Go down back for another impulse. Go back up for the correction. And then we can go down some more. Because we don't have divergence here. So there's a chance we could get something like this and drop some more. Okay? So we're trading in the B part right now. That's the worst part to trade in, but you can get small trades inside. Nice small trades, especially if the range is about 100 pips. I think this is about 100 pips range. Yeah, 200 pips range. So there's a lot of trades to make inside of that range. Pound. Well, we were looking for a running flat yesterday. Like I said, this should come back here, make a running flat, and we were looking for the upside. That didn't happen. No problem. We didn't get any buy, and we were not selling it. We're still not selling it as yet because it's pretty much in this pattern. So if we're doing this, which is a 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and we're going to go down, we will see if it consolidates here, and then we'll sell it to this level. That is if we're doing that. If we're not doing that, then it will probably go back up, make a new high. This would still be a running flat, except it would be a bigger running flat now than the one we're looking at, and then come down back. So do we have a buy setup? No. On the lower time frame, it doesn't look like it's ready to go up. So we didn't buy it. We saw it this morning, but I don't see the buy setup in it. I don't see the big move to the upside, so I didn't buy it, and I don't think it's going to go up. I think we'll probably consolidate here, go there, pull back, probably do this, make a flat here, and then drop. And it will probably be a running flat because we broke the low. But let's wait and see. That will probably take the whole of today and maybe tomorrow before we get a sell set up. Or maybe if we get a flag, we get a buy setup today. Aussie is going up. So we did get the running flat. We did break the top. It came down back. This was a sell we took. We closed that one. It started to go sideways here. Not a good sell, not a good buy. So we left it. And right now you have this. That is not giving us a clue on anything. Right? You don't have any clue on anything what it's doing as yet, right? Because either we're trying to make a much bigger correction like this, but make a new high and then come down. That's possible with a more complex correction. Or we're breaking out of this one as a 1, 2, 3 and going for the downside. So let's see which of those two it's going to prove. Right now, you don't have anything. There was a small flag here this morning. We did not take the Aussie trade. Oh, come on. Okay, I lost the drawing tool as usual. Give me 1 second. That happens once in a while. Got it back, yeah. So what we're looking at here now is what this is doing. See, there was a small one here. The reason we didn't take this buy because it wasn't the perfect buy setup, because this one was really deep. They could have just broke the top and come back, but instead we took the pound Aus sell, which is a good idea, right? So let's see what happens here. The pound Aus sell is already, you guys can put it to break even just in case it's going to go back up on the low. If it breaks through, that's a trade we're looking for. So if this, now that this is moved this much, if you get a flag here, that becomes a buyback for the top, right? If they come back down, we'll decide whether we get a sell setup, because it can go both ways right now. Right now, you're in a consolidation, and that can go both ways. So we'll have to wait and see where you get the setup. It will be one small trade until it confirms where the next impulse is going to be. Now, the more this consolidates, the more the next impulse is going to be for the downside. Right? The more they consolidate in the lower. If this takes off today and there's an impulsive move to the upside, then we will assume that we're going to come back to the top here. Let's wait and see. We don't have a trade setup today in this. Not as yet. New Zealand, we're already in this one, and New Zealand is an easier one because we understand what it's doing. Here you have a flat. This is pretty easy. So you have a flat there. You got 1, 2, 3. So this would likely come back here, most likely come back there, give you a flat, and then upside. So we're in a buy right now. By the time it gets to the top there, we'll take the profit off. We'll look for the sell, and then we'll look for the buy again. Now that's the simplest form of how this pattern could develop. I mean, literally the simplest way, right? So we're in this trade. It could come here, come back down here, and then go. Now, there's a rare chance that this one is going to break out because this is too sharp to be the consolidation, the total corrective structure. Corrective structure is most likely be this. Come back here and then go. So we will get a sell here today, and we might even get a buy today or tomorrow. Let's see how it goes, how fast it goes, and how fast it moves. If it breaks out, good for us. I'll be wrong, but that would be good for us because you're in the buy, so it doesn't matter. I don't think it's going to break out. CAD, that, by the way, they're correcting also, right? That's correcting upwards. CAD. So, okay, let me see how fast I can do this for you guys. Every time they made a sharp move, they came down, sharp move, came down, sharp move. There's a specific way that sharp move comes down, right? You can't break those stops. If you break those stops, that's it. It could be the upside. So right now, most times when they come down, they make a new high and they come down really strong, right? So you can see they go make a high, come down strong, make a high, come down strong. This we are at a high here now. So the question is, are we going to come down like this and make flag and drop and come back to retest this low, right? Make a new low, something like that. Or is it trying to go up? But if it's trying to go up, you can wait to see whether you get a flag. And I think we're making a flag here. This is the first time we're actually making a flag, not falling, but making something like a flag. So if they break this to the upside, that buy is a good idea because this will be the first time you're breaking the top. Once it make the top and starts to come down, the first time you're breaking up. So that buy is a good idea. If that doesn't happen and this keeps dropping, which means there's a correction here. I wouldn't go into details. We just did it in the trading room. And based on that, it has a few more up and down, and then it can fall. If it goes up, back and fall, right? Any flag after that, there will be a sell setup for us. If it goes up and break out, we will have an entry order to buy. See, that is two different strategies. You have to have two different set of rules of how you're going to manage the trade during those strategies. And that's what we do in the trading room on a daily basis. So right now we are in the trading room and I'm doing this webinar from our trading room, right? So Swiss, let's see where we do. We have a correction. We need to correct this. Yesterday I told you if you're selling that, you have to be careful. It might not go very far. I sold it. I took break even. I took, well, a few pips here and then I just left it because it was consolidating quite a lot there. And we just decided that if they do that, they'll likely go back up. So you're going up, you're making a correction. You should go more up, correct more up, and then downside, right? We're correcting for the sell. Can you buy in the correction? Well, depends on how deep you think they're going to. I think we might be correcting this entire piece, right? We've got to move down. We've got a big correction there, a drop here. We could probably make a small one like this and still drop. That would be a good sell. Or they could make a bigger one like this and then drop. So can you buy in that? Well, you can give it a try. Not necessarily to be a good trade. It could be a break-even trade if you know how to manage it, but you could give it a try. So you just let this one come beyond that point, and then you look for a trade to the upside. Right? If it comes very low, we wait for it to go back up, and then we sell it. If you get a flat, you sell. If you get a flag, you buy. See? That's all. Now, the buy is a risky one, warning you on that because it might not go very far. The minimum requirement of the buy is to break this top. So if you get a trade and you buy it, I don't know, here and it breaks, all it needs to break that up and it can drop. That doesn't mean it can't go far. Right? It doesn't mean it can't go higher. It just means that the minimum requirement is to break the top. Right? What that means, we have seen a lot of patterns where they just break the top and turn back. So let's see. Yen. So yen finally might be coming a sell. We didn't break the top as yet. So this is the bigger pattern. Let me just show you. 90% of the time they will. 90% of the time they will break that top and then come back. 1 in 10, maybe even less than that, you will get a contracting flat and they will come down. So the question now, is this coming down or is this just a deeper correction for upside? Well, it's coming down really sharp now. The top was looking very corrective and it was doing this. That was very corrective, but we broke out of that structure. We're consolidating under the structure. Once you do that, you're looking for a sell setup. Every sell will be a single trade to the downside, which will take profit off until the next flag forms. Because after the drop, it can go right back up. So this is the pattern we have. I don't think this is the one that is going to drop. I might be wrong on that, but I don't think this is going to drop. If it drops, it's going to be a contracting flat. We have an entry order here for the drop just in case it drops, because you're out of that structure already, the correctiveness of it. So it could get deeper, and then we will see. If you just drop, break that low and start to go back up, every buy setup I'll take. So every buy setup I get, I'll still take it, because I still think they can go break the top. And this is just a bigger correction. But if this drops today and it drops really hard, that will change the nature of this pattern. See? Because with this drop and this pullback, it was still a flat looking pattern. With this drop and not pulling back, that changed the nature of the pattern. Right? It's starting to go more aggressive downside. So it could be a bigger move, bigger correction still and go back up. And it's not negating anything as yet. This is the impulses. We have had bigger corrections here, right? We've had deeper corrections like this. See? That didn't change anything either. So let's see if this is just a deeper correction. But we will sell. From now, we will start to sell the yen from this point. So if we get a sell setup, and we have a sell setup here today, we'll sell. Can it go back up? Yeah, I think they can go back up. You can get a number of more, like this, and then eventually break through. So let's see what that gives us. New Zealand yen. You're getting a sell setup. We are expecting this to go up some more, but it's not going. So we might end up with a more complex pattern here, like this. That is possible. You can get this WXYXZ pattern, something like this. And it looks like they're going down. So let's see what we have here. If we get a sell setup, we can take it. It broke the top this morning. We wanted this to go and break the top, and they just broke the top. Right? So we're looking at this flat here. 1, 2, 3. It was here this morning. I said, let it go break that top, and then we'll look for a sell setup. Well, we broke the top, so now they will have to tell us, is it a flat for downside? If it is a flat for downside, we'll get a sell. We'll go with the sell, because they're going down much more now. So because we broke out of the up move as well, so this could be retesting the low in a much more complex pattern, something like this. And you could be looking at an impulse, a correction, an impulse, a correction, and another impulse down. And then we still go up. Right? That will complete this pattern, and then we still go up. Right? So if we get a sell setup here, we'll be trading it back to the low. Let's see if it gives us. There's a perfect pattern here on the 15 minutes. So you can put the sell, so you can take this. We broke the top, put the entry order here now. You need to break the top before you put the entry order. That wasn't a buy. That was just showing to break the top, right? And now that we broke the top, we're ready for the sell. Canadian is in a weird looking expanding ending diagonal pattern. That's normally what we call it. That is it's a weird one. It's very small. You can see I have to go into 5 minutes for you to see that. And the one overall you see is some clusters right, expanding. So really don't see the pattern in that. Most likely this is an expanding ending diagonal type of pattern. So they can drop a little more. I think there's one more drop here. And then from that point, we will see if it starts to go up. This would make the running flat, right? That'll give you a running flat and upside. So I think we're about to finish that pattern there. I hope it is that the pattern, because it's very rare. You don't see that too often. It's not a common one. It's absolutely rare pattern. So I hope it is that pattern. I don't know for sure, but it looks so. And that means you have a sell setup here. So we have a sell setup in the dollar yen. We have a sell setup in the New Zealand yen. We have a sell setup in the CAD yen. Okay, looks like yen might get a drop. Right? If all of these things line up, then yen might do a drop. If this goes higher than this top, that's it. We're no longer going for the sell. This would be a bigger flat, and then we will be looking at a different setup. But for now, if this doesn't go back up there, if this doesn't go back to that level, and that would actually change the pattern we're looking at, because then we would look at this as a flat. If this goes back up here, let's assume like this. Let's say this goes back up to the top here. I'm not buying it, but if it goes to the top there, that would mean that these were just smaller corrections. They were just expanding, but it's not an ending diagonal. This needs to drop for the expanding ending diagonal to be the pattern we're looking for, right? So we're just assuming that it could be making this pattern because they're expanding. The corrections are expanding. That's a rare case where corrections expand. So in that case, if this drop, that will confirm what you can call a pattern that you can call an expanding ending diagonal, which means after that, you either get a correction and drop again, or you reverse to the upside. And by correction, drop again means a bigger correction. So if this makes a bigger correction here, I'll just say these are small corrections, drop, bigger correction, go down. So we'll leave it like this to see whether it's proving that pattern or not, which means if it drops, sell, the pattern is intact. If they go back up, then it's just looking like the pattern, but it's not the pattern. See, that's all. And that's the difference between what we would do here as wave analysis and what I was learning as Elliott wave, right? Because Elliott wave, you assume that these patterns are going to form, and we are saying that the patterns could change as they go along, right? So we're more adaptive to the change in the pattern. Let the chart do what it does, and then we figure out what it is. And if we can figure out what is it, then we figure out whether we can take advantage of that, right? So I'm saying if this is going to be a flag, sure, I'll take the trade. But if it goes back to the top there, then that's a different strategy. That's a different pattern. We will still look for the sell if it does that. And if we see that this is a sell setup, but that would be a total different pattern and a total different strategy. See? So which is it? I don't know. We'll see. As we go along, we'll see. Let's go. Swiss yen. Swiss yen doesn't have a sell setup as yet, right? It's still going up. It could go higher. I don't see it breaking out of the if you pull a trend line here, we're not breaking out of this. We're still in that uptrend. Everything is breaking out, so probably stay away from this one. Aussie CAD. Upside, we were in the Aussie CAD buy. We closed it. I ended up closing this for less than I had on it. So I had to buy here. It went all the way there. I should have closed it there, but I missed it. And then do this, and I end up closing it somewhere here, I think. Something like that. Well, it's correcting again for the upside. So you made an impulse. You made a correction. You made an impulse. You're making a correction. We're looking for a buy setup. I was looking at this morning, but there wasn't actually a buy setup on it. Right? It's going sharp, but we don't have a buy setup, even on the 50. Right? Really didn't have a buy setup on it. So this doesn't necessarily mean that this one is going to go out. Once we break this, if we get a flag, or anywhere here we get a flag, would be a buy setup, a 1 hour flag, because this is a correction. Right? So if I get a 1 hour flag, I'll buy. Let's wait and see. We might get that trade. And today we get this trade because this trade has potential to go quite a lot to the upside. So the buy setup is a good idea. Aussie yen, you're getting a buy setup. It's a flat. You're making a flat there. You can literally see that. We're going up. I'm not sure this is the one that is going to go out. This could come back down here and then go out. You're making a big flat here. So we'll see. We have a big running flat here. So this is the flat after the running flat, just for the upside. Let's go to the 1 hour and see what we have here. Do we have a buy setup? Well, not as yet, but we could get a buy setup. This is the first impulse they're making. See, that's the first impulse there. If we get a flag here, that becomes a buy setup back to the top there. Now, I don't think this one is going to go because you have 1, 2, 3. That means that this is the most corrective one. So we'll probably get here. We'll probably come back down here and then go, making a bigger flag. See? So if we get the buy, once it gets to the top there, we take profit. We'll be looking for a sell setup down, a sharp one. It should be a sharp one. You have 2 sharp waves there. And then we look for the buy setup. So we're getting a big corrective structure, and that's okay. Once we figure it out, if it confirms what we think it is, we'll get some nice trades. Aussie CAD. Just going sideways. Some really big sideways moves you're getting here now. Right? Oh boy, this one is a complex one, so you just better stay away from it for now. It's getting more complex. It's already complex and it's getting more complex. Right? I don't think this is going to go back up, and then we'll have a lot more up and down before we complete this pattern. Stay away from this. If you get a buy setup here, you can buy it back to the top. But it's already becoming more complex. Aussie, New Zealand, it's a buy setup, but you probably will stay away from it because it was a buy setup about a week now, and it's not going anywhere. It's going to go up, but it's going to go really, really, really slow. So best thing, don't trade it. EuroCAD, good trade up. We got that trade up. Close the trade. And now we're looking for another buy. It's making a flat. You see you had this flat here. This was the whole buy. So You got a trade here. I think we got a trade from there. You got this, that became a break-even one. You come back here, you're doing this, you're going there, you're coming here, come back here, and then more upside. I'm assuming they're going to make a flat here and then continue to go up because this move up is really sharp. The bigger move to the upside is all the way to the top there, right? If you're looking at the bigger picture, this is what you're looking at. See? You're looking at this impulse, you're looking at this correction, you're looking at that impulse. Now, in very rare case, you might get this still. Come here, go there, come back here, and then go. But this is still a big move, right? We're still at the bottom here of that big move. So go back to the 1 hour. We want a consolidation here. If we see a consolidation, that would be amazing because that's your buy setup. You actually do have a buy setup here already, but that is the B part of this structure. See, this is the impulse down. So this one would probably do something like this. Come back here and then go. Now that's a common, simple, flat pattern. It could get more complex than that, but I will show you the diagram of a simple pattern because we always start our analysis with the simplest pattern and then we wait to see if it gets more complex. Making forecasts for a complex pattern is a fool's errand. I don't do something that I don't have enough information to do with. The information that I have right now is one impulse. So if we have one impulse, we go for one correction, and then we go for one more impulse. Now, if we get a corrective structure coming down here and we get an impulse going up there, that changes the pattern. But only when we get the impulse here and we get a correction here that we will change the pattern, like I just showed you on the, I think was one of the Aussie yen. Was it that? No, not the Aussie yen. One of them just now I just showed you that has the, I think it was in New Zealand yen, that has that complex pattern in the middle. I can't remember which one, but one of them I just showed you that is making, it has an expanding flat and it's making a complex pattern. This one, see? Only after you get these two sharp moves. If I had only this and I was here, I would say we're making a correction and we're coming here and then we'll go. That will always be the start of the forecast. But when you get a sharp move up there, then you look for this to make a correction, make another sharp move, make another one, and then go. Can it become more complex than this? Of course. But not until you have more information that says this is making a much more complex pattern, that you're going to draw a complex pattern. By the way, silver is going really strong. It actually took off. And I missed that trade. I don't know if I have an entry order in it. I'll have to check it. If I have an entry order, we're in. If I don't have the entry order, we're not in that trade. Okay, we'll have to check to see later. I don't think I put the entry order down. Anyway, let's go. I hope my traders are watching it and they're, they got it. So let's go Aussie yen. Aussie, since we finished all of this, let's go. We're in which one? Aussie, New Zealand, Eurocad. Yeah, the Eurocad. So we're looking for a buy setup here. And we'll see where that goes. Euro pound. We're at the top. So is it ready for the downside? Now that we've got this, if you were following me all the time, you know I was telling you this has to give us this. Actually, from this point, we were thinking we would get that one there. And then it made this, we bought that, came them back. I said, okay, well, now they're going to go. It went up, it came them back, and I said, okay, once this break, we're going to go. So we got it. So if you're thinking, and you may be thinking, but you keep saying it's going to go. Eventually, it should go. No, that's not true. If this thing was trending down, you would never get that sharp move back there. The only reason we say it should do that is because we know these patterns. And they complete themselves 90% and more of the time. I would say you're going to get a sharp move if we were trending down. You're trending down, you make an impulse correction. You're not making any sharp move against the structure. So the only reason we said that didn't mean we can't trade this down. That means you'll be careful if you're trading it down because that sharp move is coming. And that sharp move is the one we got 3 very good trades. And I got 3. Some of my traders got 4 trades in it. Right? 4 and more. So what we're looking for now is what happens at the top here. Take this off. That is, we're assuming that it's finished. It's not finished. It could go much more. So what we would have to see here is a turning point, and we don't have a turning point. Right now it's consolidating. See this? When it makes this up here, it could either start dropping or it could come back here and make a new high. If we see a bigger flat than a new high, we will trade it again on the 15. You can see this is already making a running flat. A smaller version of the very same thing we're trading right now. Come back here, come down, and if that is the case, we'll go back up. So we will take that trade to the upside. If they come here and make any flag, we're selling. Right? Any flag after that, we're selling. I hope that is not too complex for you to understand. Right? Once you know these patterns, you start figuring out how there will be, which pattern you're seeing and how that pattern should behave. Euro New Zealand went up as expected. This was a buy here. I didn't get it. I think some of my traders got that one. We're expecting it to break that top. Not necessarily to break, but I'm expecting them to break that up. So what I think might happen is you might make a bigger correction here and then go one more. So we don't have any trade set up here as yet. If we get a flag, we'll consider the sell within that one, right? So if this is the first move coming down, if it makes a flag here, we'll get one more down at least, and then we'll see if it's up or it's going to make more for downside. But I think it may make a bigger correction. We can only make an assumption that there's a bigger correction for upside because we're assuming they'll break that top. Do they have to break the top? Well, not necessary, but most times they do. So we'll see. Euro yen, you're getting a buy setup in this pattern. Let this drop some more here, and then we'll look for a buy setup. 1, 2, 3, and then up. It's too early. Let it drop one more. Let this drop one more down here, and then we'll start to look for that buy setup. Euro Swiss, sell setup. They broke out. This broke out. It's consolidating again. So you should get a downside one more. Let's see in the 4-hour where we expect it to go. Yep, it might consolidate big. Be careful. This could actually do this and then drop. See this piece here, how much consolidation you have in that. That was the impulse down. So if you're looking at this, you're looking at this as the impulse down, the correction, the impulse down. You're going to get one more up there, one more down, and then we'll go. This is the pattern we're looking at. See how simple it is? It's that simple. That's the pattern. So be careful of this. Ignore it. The sell is going to be miserable. Euro Oz. Okay, so we got that one up. Take this off. That is not an expanding flat, so that one is incorrect because it didn't come down. That is why this expanding flat is incorrect. We anticipate that this would drop here. Instead, they go up some more. So let's see what pattern we're going to look for. And let's take this off as well. We're in the middle of this impulse, right? This is the impulse. And we're in the middle of it. This down move was good. That was okay. We got this correct. This one didn't break the top, so that creates a problem. Now, if that was a contracting flat, we would be going down, and we didn't do that. So now we have this in the middle here, and that looks like it's coming back here. So we would be left with this flat. And if you get that flat in the middle of all of this, then you'd have to relook at the entire structure, right? Because we'll start with the known pieces we have, which is this. So if you get 1, 2, 3, this would have to go back up for this one, complete this pattern, and then probably come down back like this, slowly. And then we can go up. And now you would have a pattern that we know. Now that will take a very long time. See? What am I doing? I'm constructing a known pattern with using the pieces we have and reconstructing the piece we don't have. So I'm constructing pieces we don't have, assuming that this will make a pattern that we know. Now that could change. As you go along, that could change. But each piece in it would be easier to figure out as you go along, right? So if we get this and we get this, and this starts to come down, we're looking for this one. So if you get a flag here now to confirm you're coming down, then you can trade it down for this one. See that? That is easy. That's the easy part. When it comes here, if it does that, we get this trade. If it doesn't do that and it consolidates and go higher, then we relook at it to see whether we can look at this as a contracting flat. I think no, that is not a contracting flat. So we will just wait until it gives us the other piece, and then we will see what pattern we're looking at. So right now, I'm looking for a sell setup to come back to retest this low. And when that piece is finished, we'll put all the pieces together and see if it makes a pattern that we know. And by the time it's coming to the end, we will figure out the pattern clearly. And the next big impulse would be to the downside. That part for sure, we already know. If this continues to do what it's doing, right? If this consolidation continues to do this, go up there, come back down here, go back there, give us this flat, this would go down. See this one here? It came down. Right, so if we get that, it's downside. Right now, it's not an impulsive move to the upside. It's consolidating. So we'll get one more downside, and then we'll see where it goes from there. One more downside, and then most likely it's the upside. Let's see. Nope. One more downside could bring you pretty deep, all the way back to this level. So once this is finished here, you're heading to the downside here. Because this is your impulse. This is your correction, and we're coming down nicely. We're just making a big flat there. Well, relatively big flats. We had a lot of these flats here. See this piece coming down, how many of them you had? But it came down. So we'll go back, zoom in. We're making a big one there. That was a big one. This is a small one. Right. So let it finish. It might look like it's taking forever, but the bigger move to the downside would be the one you focus on. So if you get a flag here, we sell this, then we buy it up, then we sell it back down. The sell down might be a harder one. The buy up should be an easy one. And then the sell down should be pretty easy. So it's a step by step, piece by piece. You put it until you see a pattern that you know. Pangos, you're going to be wrong a lot of times, especially when you're learning. The more you do it, the better you get at it. So we're in the Pangos sell. I told you that this should go to break even. Put that trade to break even now, because from this point, two things going to happen. Two things could happen. It would either go back up or it's going to drop through the bottom. I'm not really going for this trade. I'm going for if it's going to drop through, because in the bigger picture, it looks like it can drop through. We have an impulse. You have 1, 2, 3. You can make an argument for an expanding flat, and you can make an argument for 1, 2, 3 up there. This should drop through the bottom. Now, if it stays here for a couple more candles, we just close the trade, put an entry lower. See? If it looks like it's going to reverse, we'll close the trade, put an entry lower. So let's see which one it gives us. That could break out. So I'll probably put it to break even and keep it for now. If that breaks out, what is going to happen? It's likely going to come here. And from this point, we will either continue to go or we'll go back up one more and then come down. I don't think we're going to go back up, because you can make an argument for this being an expanding flat. You can make an argument for that, which means this could drop. Put it in the bigger picture. Where it's going to drop to? Well, it's going to drop to this level. If that correction is finished, we're dropping to this level. And then from here, we'd either go back up or we'll break through, depending on how you would look at all of this correction here. All right. So go back to the 15 and you're in the trade already. We'll see what it does at this point. By the way, you can get a trade if it breaks out. You can get in the trade in an entry order there. So Pang New Zealand, I sold this. I bought this yesterday. I told you, if you were watching yesterday, I bought it here. Went up, came down back, starting to go back up. It didn't go the way I expected. I closed the trade, right? So now I'm watching this piece, and we're making a flat here. I saw this, but we're not interested. This is a small one. See, this is a small one. This should go back up. And we're going to consolidate in this range here. So if we consolidate in this range, what's going to happen? Let's go back to the big picture now. If we consolidate in this range here, which is what I was trying to avoid, hope they didn't consolidate in this range. Well, they consolidate. So if you consolidate in this range here, and you have 1, 2 sharp wave, right? So you probably come here, go back there, you get a bigger flat here. If we get that, we're going to come down here. So we'll get another impulse down. We could trade within the range as well, but we're going to get another impulse down. And if you get another impulse down, you'll probably do this and drop. That would be a big running flat there. See? And then you'll drop. So trade. There's a lot of trades to come. So go back into the pattern now and wait for the upside, and then we'll buy. I don't see this as finishing the move to the downside, right? What we have here is 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. The reason we didn't sell this because once it comes here, we can look for a buy to the upside. This one is too short. Risk to reward is not good. But this is not going to break out to the downside. It's going to go back up. You have a 1, 2, 3 up. So you probably get a 1, 2, 3 up there. Let's see if it goes up, we can get a buy. We'll see when it gets there, if and when it gets there. It's more complex. We still have to watch these two sharp waves to decide. Right? Pancad. So it's not as simple as it looks sometimes, but it's doable. The pieces you put together can do it. If this becomes a correction here, it's making a flag, we can look for a buy back to the top. It's not going to be a sharp move. It might go very slow. And I think likely we're going to go very slow. So not the best trade. If it goes fast, good for us. I'll probably take the trade and see how fast it goes. Pound Swiss. So we have one more down, I think, still in this. Nope, it's probably over. The one down already finished. That was yesterday, this one down. I think it's finished. We can bring a line here and put this, and you got a running flat. Most common pattern that you'll find in the market on any structure almost. See? So you want to know how we know this one is going to happen? Go back to when this was here and we were going up. This is how you can learn it if you want. It will take a long time, but you can have an idea at least. It's not going to be that easy to learn, but you have an idea. When this happened at the start, I told you we're going to get this. We were expecting this one. And then this happened. I was like, okay, let this happen, break the top, come back here. It come down, it went there, broke the top. See, broke the top and come down. And now we're looking for the upside. So do we have a buy setup? Let's go see if we have a buy setup. No, we don't. So if we don't have a buy setup, just move this down a little more. Because this here, we have a contracting flat here. See that piece there? And we have this and we have that, and this is going up slowly. I don't like the way this is going, which means I don't think this is the start of the impulse. Sometimes that becomes the start of the impulse, but I don't buy it in that case. If I think I don't buy it here. For me to buy it, it has to make a sharp move up here, make a flag, and now I'll start buying. As it stands right now, this thing looks like it can fall one more. And if it falls one more, reverse and make a flag, we're buying. I'm not interested in this sell. It might happen. I might even see it, but I'm not going to take it. The risk to reward is no good in that one, right? Because it's almost completing what we wanted. This is the size of this one, and I think it's even bigger than this. It could be much bigger. It could be shorter. It doesn't. Yeah, we are pretty much exactly the same size. They don't have to be exactly the same size. So I wouldn't be surprised if this actually comes down one more and then go. We'll get the buy set up. We'll get it sometime during today or tomorrow. Sorry, guys. So let's see. This could be the start of it, but this is a weird way to start it. See this? You see, we have an impulse and we have a correction. That's a weird contracting flat, and this is going up really, really slow. So I wouldn't be buying something like this to let it just tag me there and then drop. That's a waste of time. If you know patterns, you would not do that. But what we will do is let this show us that it starts to pick up and make a flag. Well, now it's confirming that this was the flat. This was your first impulse, and you're just going to start the up move. That becomes an easier one to trade. See? Let's see. Let's go. Pangyan, this looks downside. You're making a flag here. It's a good flag. I'm making a flag here for downside. How far down you can go? Let's go to 1 hour and see how far down we can go. It's the first impulse, so it can go down quite a lot. This one is finished, and this is a new high. We could actually be dropping all the way to the bottom. That's a good sell. Remember, we broke the low here, so we don't have to break the top. This could be the start of the entire downside. This could be the start of the downside. Now, not that it's going to go that fast. I don't think we're going to go that fast. We could go slower than that. But this is your flat. You have an impulse. You have 1, 2, 3. This could come back here. So let's see. Is it going to go there? It can go there, but is it going there? So let's see. If you got a flag, sell it. We're getting a flag here. We're getting a nice flat. What was that sharp move there? Let me see what the sharp move there was. Does it belong to something already? Yep, it belonged to this expanding flat. There was an expanding flat there. See this flat in the middle there for the 1, 2, 3. So it's one of these weird expanding flats. You can see we have a weekly one like that on the Aussie. And we have this sharp one here. Doesn't mean anything to anywhere. I don't think we'll put this one. This is very aggressive. That's very this could be something in this one. These two sharp moves could be something in this one. 1, 2, 3 here. Probably go back up to this. This could go up sharper. Make this one. And then drop. So you could get a sharp spike here and then a drop. Just put the line like this and wait for the sell setup. Those sharp moves, they're part of impulses within a corrective structure. Within a structure, put it that way, not necessarily corrective. So we're looking for a sell setup. We'll see how that goes. This is the sell setup. You'll have to keep a stop way above here. Keep a stop way above it because whatever correction you're making here, right? It could be a running flat. They will eventually come back here, give you this one, and then drop. So you don't want to be taken out here and then watch it drop like that. So you keep a bigger stop because the move to the downside is a bigger one. If this is the start of the downside, this could be a really big move. New Zealand, Swiss. More downside, a little more downside. We're about to finish it. We're looking for this move down. So you probably get one more drop and then the upside starts. That will complete this pattern. See, these are complex patterns that we're looking at. If you remember all these pieces here, we're telling you one piece at a time, and then you eventually get this, you get that, and then it's easy. After that, it looks pretty easy when you watch it now, right? It's when it's happening live that it becomes complex. And that's where we teach you to do it properly, how to analyze it properly. New Zealand CAD. Okay, so we complete this one. I think we can quickly make an assessment that this flat is over. 1, 2, 3. We need this one down, and I think that's the one we're making right now. Some kind of a flat would happen here, and we're going to come down here. We'll get this one. And then we still have to get this very slow move up. Now, this move doesn't have to be slow. It could be fast. And once that is complete, that becomes a really big flat, right? Once you complete that, it's more of a big flat rather than the upside. So it could be the start of the upside. It could, excuse me, it could be a big flat because they have to come back here. And then they can either take off or just come and break this top, make a new low, and then go. But it's a buy setup. So once it goes down, we will start to look for the buy setup. Once this move is finished, we had a sell there. That's a break even. Take it off. It didn't go. Since yesterday, it didn't go. So we're getting another sell setup here probably. Maybe a bigger flat pattern like this in the middle. It could be you make a bigger flat pattern here, something like this. Come back here, go back there, and then drop. Right, and then we start to look for the buy setup. Once you get the buy setup, it is going to either be the start of the big move up, or it's going to make an impulse up and start to come back down. You'll get out of the trade, sell it, and then look for the buy again. CAD Swiss, what is the big picture in here? Nothing, sell. The big picture is a sell. We're looking for this move down. So we're looking for a move down here and then a move up again. So if you get a sell setup here, that's a good trade. Take this off. That was a slow move. That was a slow start. There was a flat at the top there, which is rare. They make them sometime, but it's rare that you make a big flat at the top here before you drop. Normally, the normal way impulses will start is drop, make a flag, drop, make a flag, and then make a bigger one before you go. This one actually drop a little, make a big one, and then actually drop, which happens sometimes, rare. So what you want to see here now is a correction. Want to see some kind of a correction and then sell. And that's a bigger correction. So if it is a bigger correction, can we buy it? Here's the question. If that is going to make a big correction up, can we buy it to the upside? And I think, yes, we've got to move up. We're getting some consolidation here. Come back like this, give you a flat, and you can buy this. It's not a big move up. It's a small move because they'll come back very deep. Come back very deep, they'll give you another one. Come back very deep, give you a few of this, and then you get a bigger correction for downside. So if you're buying and selling within this one, you have to know the range. You have to understand each piece of the pattern. Let's go. Okay, finally we will break that top. Finally, this thing should go and break the top and then look for the sell setup. See? Just let it break the top. Don't worry with the buy, and then we'll look for the sell setup. Let's go. Oil, still in the consolidation. Didn't go up. This was we were trying to get that yesterday. Didn't go. You've got a flat in here. I think you can go make an argument for this. So you have this, you got this, you're getting a flat here, so this should go up some more. Looks like that should go up. So if that goes up, what we're going to have in the bigger picture, we're going to have a 1, a 2, and a 3 back to the top, just like we had a 1. You can make an argument for a 2 here. You can make an argument for a 2 there as a contracting flat, depends, and a 3. There's a number of ways you can make an argument for that, right? And this should go back to the top here. Now, can it be more complex than that? I think so. Depends on how you look at it. But I'm looking at it the simple way, which is 1, 2, 3 here, and go up there. So there's a buy setup here today to break this top. And then you better take the profit, because from that point, it's downside. Well, it's not necessarily going to fall, but that qualifies it for the fall. All right, let me just go through this again with you. Once we break this top, you have a pattern that qualifies for a drop. That doesn't mean it's going to drop, because they can make more corrections in here and stay here for a longer time and then drop. But that will be the first simple completed 3-wave structure. You could have another 3-wave structure and another 3-wave structure and another 3-wave structure and another 3-wave structure before you drop. But the first one that completes qualifies for the impulse to drop. So let's see, will it drop immediately, or are we going to have a more complex pattern? Let's get the buy first. I think we can get this buy today. I like it. If it goes lower, we wouldn't buy it. Right? If this goes lower, we wouldn't buy it. But if it breaks out of this, that's a good buy, because you have a flat in the middle here, and you have an impulse into it. So the buy is not a bad idea. Let's see. We're consolidating on the low. If you want to ignore all the buys, wait until it breaks the top and then look for a sell setup. That's the simple way. That's the easy way, actually. Right? That's good. UK oil, same thing. Same pattern, same structure. You're getting the same thing here. You're getting a buy setup here also to go back up. Natural gas, nothing. Take this off. Stay away. Let it break the low. Don't trade it. Let it break the low, and then we'll look for buys. This one is already going up, so you get a flag here. Perfect. You're looking for upside. Right, one more up there. Same thing with, yep, so this one is already gone. See that? It's already gone. So wait for another flag. Or if you're in the trade, move your stops to take profit. S&P 500 already gone. That was yesterday's one. Put an entry order, you're already in the trade. Right, and then these are easy ones, right? These are not complicated. Put an entry order, it's correcting, it's going to go up, you're already going. But move your stops to follow it. At some point, it will stop and correct again, or reverse. You don't want this. This could reverse. You don't want the reversal to catch you. DAX is consolidating, so you see it's make a flag here. Go for the trade. You got a correction already, so go for the trade if you get a flag. You're getting a flag there for a buy. Go for it. Aussie 200. Okay, this was a flat. They did make a flat here finally. And they go up. So the question is, how far is this going and what is it doing? This is not the impulse to the upside. This is a big flat in here. So it doesn't matter that it goes there. That's not the impulse to the upside as yet. It's kind of strange. A very big flat in the middle here you make, and then they're going. If that is the impulse, then we're going to finish this move very quick. And then downside. Once they break that top, you can start to look for sell setups. Right? So if you want to buy this, I would not buy this at this level, not at that level. And I would still not buy it here too, because it can still go down back. Wait for a flag. If you get a flag here above this level, then you can start to buy. This whole piece was a bit complex in the amount of flats they make inside. This one was simple. This one I thought they'll probably come here, come back down to the range and then go. That would make it easier, because this flat here was kind of like come here, go back there, and then go, and then it will make sense. But now they're going without it, so you have a very big flat in the impulse, which is rare, but happens, like I told you. And now you consider, okay, this was the low, that's a flat. You're going, wait for flags, buy. Wait for the flags, wait for the correction, then buy. Nifty is going up, so if you're in the buy, you're doing well. Watch it when it comes to this level because we can come back down. If it breaks out, your trade, which means you can put it to break even if you're in the trade and leave it to see which direction it goes. It breaks out or it comes back down. Could be more complex. There was a number of flags to buy here. You could buy this flag, you can buy that flag. You're getting another flag to buy again to that level, and then we'll see. Tesla broke out, but it's not going anywhere. So put an entry if this goes. If that comes back lower, then we just have a bigger corrective structure. That's all. And the magic works, right? See? So if you're doubting pattern, again, let me remind you, if you manage to get to this level, you will learn something. If you didn't get to this level in the webinar, you didn't watch it this far, you didn't learn something. Because we were doing this step by step. You can go and chop all those pieces out on a daily basis and put it together and you'll see. All right, SLR. Okay, it's going up. You'll probably come to this top. They make a 1, 2, 3 here. They're going back. You probably get to this level and then downside. I still think it's more downside. We're still in the downtrend so far. But trade it up back to the top here. Take any flag back to the top there, and then we'll see what happens from that level. All right. Back to the 1 hour. This is still going down. You still have a corrective structure, so you probably get one more down. Take the one more down. It's very short. Take profit. Reliance, sideways, and then downside. You're just going sideways here, see? Probably do this, come back here, and then downside. PayPal, yep, it's finally breaking out of the top, which is what we wanted. Break this top. Now that the top is broken, pattern is considered qualified to be completed. It doesn't mean it's completed. It means this could go for a while more before you come down. So now you start looking for the sell, and any sell setup you get, you should take. All right. So now you're looking for sell setups. How far and how long this impulse could go? I don't know. If you get a buy setup, you buy it. Take profit. You get a sell setup, sell it. It doesn't go, let's say it stops short. You get a break even here, but you get a buy setup, take that trade. You get a buy setup, take the trade. Once you get a sell setup, sell it. All right. Every time you get a sell setup, you take it. The buy setup, you can take it. You have to take off profit immediately. Sell setup, you will keep the come and break the low. Let's go. Bitcoin. I'll have to go very fast now. Bitcoin dropped a little more, so you're actually going sideways now. See, you're in this piece, going down. Let's look at this in a bigger picture again. Not much. It's coming down slowly, but this piece here is still a correction. You can come a little up here, right? Not much, but a little up there. So I'll put the trend line and I'll say watch it back to the top there, closer to the tops, because this doesn't look like it's completed to go. That's like the third attempt to get the line, right? So this doesn't look like it's complete to go. Try to get this to the top and then see if it goes down back or it breaks out. Wait for a flag, then buy. XRP. Okay, so we might be going down a little now. Now that we've broken the top, we're expecting one move down. Let's see if this is the start of the down move. Let's see if we get a consolidation here. We get a consolidation here. This could be the start of the down move, and that will complete the running flat pattern that we're looking for, right? We're looking for a running flat pattern. So what we want to see is a flag here and a drop to this level, something like this. And then upside. That will complete what we think it's making, a running flat. So let's see if we get the running flat. Upside, you're getting a flat here for upside. See, that's a daily one going to 1 hour. Let's see, it's still 1 hour is still upside. Right? You kind of get this 1, 2, 3. So look for buy setups here, back to the top. What you have here is this looks like a running flat. This piece here at least looks like a running flat. So you should get one more up here. That's a short one, but eventually you'll come down for this. So I'll be careful of the buy. You can take the buy, but you have to get out in time. Take the profit, because if this wick is correct, even if the wick is not correct, it stopped here, right? So even if this move is correct, you're going to get a move back to the low here and then up. If the wick is correct, it will come back to the bottom of the wick. I don't know if it's correct. You'll have to tell me. I think they said this is the only place I think I found it. But if you can send me the link with where else, which one you want to use, let's see. ETH are coming back down. So you can look at this two ways. This is a flat. We're going to get one more up. Or this is the start of the downside with a flag here. So if they break the flag, you sell. If they break the top, you buy. See? This one move down, this sharp move down is still possible. This sharp move down. Because they've done it before. Here's a smaller version of that same thing. Sharp move, correction, sharp move, right? Sharp move, correction, sharp move, low. See? That's what we're looking for. So let's see if we get it. Dash. Did I not do dash already? No, that was dot, sorry. Dash, we're looking for downside. Wait for a flag here and see if you get that trade. Right, it's making a correction here in the 4 hour. Wait for that 4 hour correction and go for the trade to the downside. Wait for this to prove you're making a correction here. And then you can trade this down. TRX, what is the big picture? Big picture is still upside, so we're just consolidating here. This whole big piece here is the first impulse down, and then you're consolidating. So you can buy inside of it. You can buy. This is, we're going back up, wait for flags, buy. All right. Wait for a flag here and then buy back to the top. We're still in the first move down. So this will be the correction up, and then you get another move down. LTC, sell setup is actually forming now. You're getting it here, perfect. See, anticipate this move, you're getting a sell setup here. Go for it. If that breaks, you go for the trade. We're expecting it to come back down. So good. Seems like we're getting everything we want. We wanted, we're getting this. And if we get that, that's downside. And ADA looks like downside already, right? This piece looks like it's consolidating here for a drop. So you get 1, 2, 3, and you'll get 1, 2, 3. Break the low. Look for that trade. That's the most immediate trade you're looking for. So, okay, guys, I think we've completed this. It's a very long one. These too much charts. We'll have to figure out what to do with this. All right. So Aussie Swiss. Did I skip Aussie Swiss? Oh, you were telling me where I was. I assume that is something like that. So, okay, guys, thank you very much. Remember, we're doing a live course. I don't know if anybody will see this if they come to the end. But please help share the webinar if you watch this to the end. Take care. See all of you later. Bye.